was it you were saying about Andy?
He's going to get mad because you made a video about him and called him Andy, not Andrew. He likes being called Andrew. And he's probably making some black magic to send to us. He likes worship and stuff.
Okay, I got it. Andrew Hiltz. I would just like to say my video is not meant to be confrontational. I was just reporting what I saw. Now, I understand you don't like being called Andy, so I'm not going to call you Andy anymore, okay? What?
So we didn't know that.
We didn't know that, Andrew. Andrew, is it?
Mm-hmm.
My bad, man. I tell you though, you said you wanted to answer some questions. I got some, man. I told you, hit me up with that email. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I see you do a lot of lives. You want me to come on live? But anyway, we want to say, we're sorry, our bad. Please no dark magic, Andrew. Moving on. Don Sherfey Jr. Is there a junior and a senior to everybody in that part of Tennessee, or is it just me?
There's a lot of them.
Even the women are juniors and seniors and thirds and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know it? Y'all just hard up for ideas over there. Hawkins County, it seems like. Everybody's got the same name. I can't tell you. Or variations of it. Andy, Andrew, Don, Donald, Donnie, Don Bo. And then Candace, and Candace. Anyway, Don Sherfy Sr. I listened to one of his interviews where he's talking about some of the backlash and stuff that's happened since Don Sherfy Jr. His name's been brought up, and he has past crimes that aren't, well, they're bad. Right?
Yeah.
My son got in trouble. He made a mistake, and they're wanting to say, well, he's done this, he's done that, and because Evelyn Boswell lived close to him, 8 minutes away when she went missing and was murdered.
Brandy.
Yeah.
Don't you think it's crazy that Don Sherfy Sr. brought up that Don Sherfy Jr. was suspected in the Evelyn Boswell thing at one point?
Yeah.
That's crazy for him. Why would he even mention that if he's trying to make him look less guilty?
That is weird. Like, we probably would never do that, unless he said something about it.
Yeah, I hadn't seen it before until I heard it come out of his mouth.
That's crazy.
Not that I think he's involved with that, because I'm pretty sure Megan's behind that.
Right.
But still, it's crazy that his dad's like, well, he didn't do that to the Boswell kid either.
Yeah, that's strange. Very strange.
And then he's like, oh, and everybody better stop using me and my son's name on these YouTube videos. Well, dude, you just give him the biggest soundbite possible.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
It's a weird tactic, ain't it?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And, turns out, one time, this is Junior we're talking about, Don Sherfy Jr. The reason we're talking about him is because his name's been around everywhere, because, like I said, he had charges against children, and that's where it all begun, I suppose. Anyway, Don Sherfy Jr., he has been a corrections officer at the Hawkins County Sheriff's Department. Now, you tell me that ain't something this rumor mill did not need, right?
Mm-hmm.
We already have questions about Cousin Ronnie. So, now, we come to find out some dude that hasn't been questioned yet, 7 months in, right?
Yep.
Hasn't been spoken to. And I think we only found him because of somebody on YouTube, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know Michelle's talked about him quite a bit, and it's amazing. One of the things I heard about Don Sherfey Jr., now I am not positive about this, that's why I'm going ahead and prefacing it with something I heard. I don't know how factual it is. But I did hear somebody talk about where Don Sherfy Jr. was out on probation, parole, whatever, that they thought that he might have on an ankle monitor, and that could be the reason the TBI doesn't seem to be really interested in him. Now, if that's the case, that would make sense, because everybody on ankle monitors, you know, they know where they're at and when they're there. So, you know, I don't want to throw TBI under the bus when I'm not sure about something. So I'm going to say possibly the reason they haven't spoke to him is because they knew where he was at during the time that Candace gave for Summer disappearing. And the more I think about that, I think it's probably a good chance, because I'm sure they started at the wells, worked their way out with all the known offenders in the area and looked through them. And I'm sure they could rule out a lot of them that way. Because I know those ankle monitors seem to be basically impervious to people being able to, you know, either get them off without setting them off, or, you know, whatever. It seems like they're pretty hard to beat. So that could be the reason that we haven't heard about Sherfy Jr. before. That he still hasn't been questioned. You would think you've questioned everybody in the tri-state area by now with past crimes against children. Mm-hmm. But, you know, this is a little bit in TBI's defense. His only real tie to that area is his dad, Don Sr.'s girlfriend, lives close over in that area near Ben Hill. His dad says he doesn't have no clue who the Wells are. Junior, he's saying. Never met them, never seen them. His dad told us something, though, because he tells us that the Wells kids would be playing in the yard or in the road all the time. Had to stop the car for them to get out of the road.
Don and Candace are both liars. Don Wells made the statement that he taught his children not to leave his property, and that's a crock of bull, because we've been in and out there many times, had to stop in the middle of the road so they could get out of the road where they've been playing in the road. And that includes Summer, when we've seen her before she...
Boy, that's not the way Don Wells tells it. Now is it? What do you...
I know she didn't walk away from this property by herself or off this yard by her swing.
What do you think about that? I don't think he made it up, do you?
No.
So knowing that the kids have been down in the road, Don Wells, by line, is hurting himself.
Yep.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I think if they would have come out from the beginning and said they weren't paying attention, they don't know what happened, she was just gone, instead of making up that crazy-ass story and everything, people might be more in their favor, maybe. Mm-hmm. It would definitely curb opinion, I think. You know? Because that's what makes the abduction story so hard to buy, is basically he said they had to come into the house. Mm-hmm. You know? If the kids are down there playing on the road, like Don Sherfey Sr. says, there's a lot better chance somebody could have come up on one of them.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And he even said he had seen Summer playing in the road.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yes, Don Wells made the statement that I was at the bottom of the hill searching for Summer when he come home, which was a lie. I was in Andover, Maryland on the 15th, and I was in Groveport, Ohio on the 16th. I drive a tractor trailer for a living. TBI questioned me about it. I gave them my alibi. They checked it out with my previous employer, and they verified where I was at by computer, where we have computer tracking in our trucks. And he told me that I was clear, no problems, not to worry about nothing.
Now, Junior, at the time Summer went missing, was actually out on bond from his charges from the crimes against kids issue. Right?
Yeah.
So he was out. It ain't like he's got an ironclad alibi if he was in jail at the time it happened. Now, he come out and said Don and Candace were big liars and all this stuff. So, another one that just piling on, ain't it?
Mm-hmm.
Is there anybody that knew them before this happened that hasn't jumped in to pile on?
Mm-mm.
Here's another one. Now, this dude wants to file charges against everyone. He's mad at everybody. Don Sherfey Sr.
You know, and I'm sick of it. I mean, they've done YouTube videos about me, about my son, and I'm sick of it.
And also, Sherfy Sr., some of y'all might have seen it. One day that Molly and JLR and Bullhorn and all them were at the wells, a man approached him and asked him to stop and stuff like that. And he was courteous, you know, he didn't come off as, you know, wild. So that was Sherfy Sr. That was the dad. So apparently, you know, it was just a matter of time before this all got found out. And, you know, to those who uncovered this, good catch, but, you know, if you've seen headlines from around that area since Summer's been missing, there seems to be a lot of child crimes going on around that region. I know it's trouble everywhere, but still, you know, it really brings a magnifying glass to it when you already have a kid missing. I don't know, though. I think one of the biggest takeaways out of what we got out of him was the kids playing in the road.
Mm-hmm.
You know it?
Yeah.
Alright, guys, that's basically the tale of the Sherfys. Seems like Senior has a pretty good alibi from what he said in on the call. Junior, I'm not sure about, because there's not much out as to what, you know, he has said. It's interesting that he was suspected in the Evelyn Boswell thing. Could there be something to him? Possibly. But I'm thinking there's a good chance the reason the TBI hadn't talked to him is because they had an ankle monitor on him and knew where he was. If not, then he definitely needs to be looked into further. But that's basically it. Like I said, it just could be more noise created to try to confuse the situation and to bring heat off certain people.